Hi, in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to go ahead and set up to do a front and a profile view of the human head. So I'm going to start off by just going up to File, New Painting, and I'll just use Windows Size, and that's great. Okay, so you can skip this first step. I'm just going to fill the background so that it shows up. You could do the regular canvas with whatever color pencil you want, or you can go ahead and do a color fill. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to choose a very desaturated blue, and I'm going to come over here to the fill tool, and I'll go ahead and tap. I want to make sure that that layer doesn't get touched or changed in any way, so I'm going to come over to the layer and I'm going to choose Lock All. I'm then going to make a new layer, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my settings panel, have that off to the side here. I'm going to choose a close to white color, so something like that. So hopefully you guys can see that all right. Alright, so this first layer that I'm drawing on are going to be for my construction lines. I'm going to be using Outrageous stencils to help me out. So I'm going to open up the stencils. I'm going to bring out the circle stencil and the ruler stencil. I'm going to set up my circle right here. This is going to represent the cranium of the skull. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to draw my circle going right around the edge. Okay, there we go. So there's that. I'll then right click and choose remove that stencil. I'll then bring my ruler over, and I want to go ahead and slice it right down the middle horizontally, so I'll place it right there. To resize your ruler, you can just click or tap with your pen and drag on one of the green ends. When you do that, though, you'll see that you make the ruler bigger or shorter, but you can also rotate the ruler. If you then hold down the Shift key on the keyboard, you can then snap the ruler to certain angles. So I'm going to go ahead and do something like that. Okay, so I'm going to find my midpoint, and I'm going to go ahead and draw right across, and there's my horizontal line. I'll then go ahead and rotate the ruler, hold down the Shift key so it snaps, make it a little bit bigger. Go. And I'll go ahead and do a vertical cut as well. About there. Okay, so there we are. The next cuts that I want to do, so this first line here is the brow line. So I know it's going to be a little tough to see, but that's going to be the brow line. Now what we need to do for the head is the human head is not rounded like this on the sides, so I'm going to go ahead and place my ruler right over here, and I'm going to go ahead and do another cut right through. Bring it to the other side, and do the same thing on that side. Go ahead and place a cut line. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the ruler, although I'm going to leave it there for now. So moving on. These contact points here, right where these go, I'm going to go ahead and do a little erasing, just so you can see how this is building up. There we go, so it looks a little more head-like. There we are. Okay, so this point right here, where the edge, this would be where the jaw is going to be. Then I'm going to take the ruler and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one more line, and it's going to go right across. And that's going to give us the nose line. So the nose line is going to be right about there. Okay, so that's going to be my nose line. Okay, so now to do the chin line, which is the next one that I would want. To do the chin line, the guideline is the distance from the brow to the nose. You want to multiply that times 2. So if I go from here and then I double it right about there. And what I do is you can either leave those arcs there, or on your keyboard you can press Command Z on a Mac and it will undo that. And you'll have your mouse pointer right there. So again, I do one arc, two arcs, and I'm going to leave my pen there because I'm pretty happy with it. And now I'm going to do Command Z to undo those arcs. But I left my pen there, and now I can go ahead and I can just do a little notch mark, and that's about where my chin should go. Okay, so now that that's set, I'm going to go ahead and continue on. I'm going to go from the brow line. I'm going to do one arc going up. So from the nose to the brow line was one arc there, two arcs, and where that second arc is, that's where the hairline is going to go. And again, it's an average hairline. You, of course, can change it based on the style or the person, age, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much ready to go ahead and start. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here to the construction layer, and I'm going to tap on the opacity, and I'm going to lower the opacity to at least 50%. Now I'm going to make a new layer, and this new layer I'm going to name by going to the layer menu, set layer name, and I'm going to go ahead and call this front. Okay, so now I can go ahead and draw on top and just use my reference down below. So in class we will go ahead and we'll cover much greater lessons on the features of the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, etc. But for now, I just want you can go ahead and you can do Google image search. You can type in portrait into Google Images, and you can find a lot of really great references. Just make sure there's good enough lighting. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and just do the real basics. And there we go. Okay, so for the brow, go ahead and give the arch, something like that. And for the eye, real sort of almond shape, sort of sliver there. Just real basic. Okay, so for the chin, I'm going to go ahead and take the chin and I'm going to curve it up so that it comes up here. Now if I feel like the proportions still aren't right, I can go ahead and change that in a little bit. Don't worry about clean up too much right now. It's a little premature, but there you go. And I can go ahead and round this, more and curve it a little bit better. But for the most part, it's good. It's a decent location. Okay, so for the mouth is generally, you want to look at the space between the nose and the chin, and you want to cut it in about half. So if I were to cut it in half, it would be right about here. And then you want to go a little bit higher than half. So I'm going to go ahead and do this here. This is going to be the mouth opening. Do the little Cupid's bow. And something for the lower lip, and something for the chin. So just the real basics. Something like that. Okay, so the ears. The ears are typically in line with the eyes and the brow line. So you can just do something real simple like this kind of a curve, and it comes down and stops at the nose. Something like that. The hairline, I'm just going to go ahead and block in a basic hairline. Make sure that your hair does go a little bit beyond the cranium. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity of the layers there. You'll see if I turn off my layer, you'll see I can see it here. Now here's the fun thing, is that now I'm going to evaluate the proportions. If I don't like the way something is, I've got something that I can do. So I'm feeling like the chin should be a little bit lower. You should have a little bit more chin. I think there should definitely be a little bit more space in between the lips and the nose. So the solution is to come over here and get your selection tool and make sure in your settings window that you have the freehand selection active. So with the freehand selection active, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a freehand selection of his jaw, and I'm going to make a closed shape. And now that it's selected, I'm then going to come over here and grab the transform tool, and you want to make sure that the transform tool is set up to normal mode. And when it is, then I can click and I can tap and I can go ahead and I can drag it wherever I want. So if I feel like his chin should really be somewhere around down here, I can. So now to place it, I'm just going to tap outside, and now I need to get rid of that selection. And you do that by pressing Command D, D for deselect. Now I can go back to my pencil tool and I can go ahead and fill in those gaps. And I can go ahead and round it out. So I'll do that one more time. I'm going to go grab the selection tool. I'm going to do a freehand selection around the mouth there. Grab the transform tool, tap on it. I'm going to move it down a little bit to where I feel it's a little more natural. Tap outside, press Command D, and there it is right there. Okay, so go ahead and put a little cheek fold in a little bit, maybe a little bit of a nostril edge here. So you can do some details, but that's basically it. The cool thing about the selection technique is that if I feel like something, here's another creative use, if I feel like his nose is too wide, I can take the transform tool and I can click and drag, and I can actually make his nose a little bit more narrow or a little taller if I really felt like I wanted that. Tap outside, Command D, and it's very fluid and really easy to go with. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the front view. In part 2, I will set up a side view or a profile view. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.